Welcome to Profiletraders. This is Reza and you're listening to my market analysis for April the 21st. Well, finally yesterday this market started an attempt to break above 2100, and as I stated previously from the daily chart, I had two upside objectives. One was 2118 and then the other one was right around 2140. And if we look at the top here, I am still not at all convinced that this very little pullback that we saw today is the beginning of anything significant. Everything indicates that we should at least clear this flat top by a good margin and then see on the upside a long candle, very strong looking upon the break of that flat top, and then after the long candle on the upside we should see the scenario like today, where we would get a reversal that same day with a close at the very bottom of the day in order to call it a strong solid reversal. All that we are seeing here is nothing. The drop of today is peanuts. It didn't have any drive in it. It wasn't impulsive. It wasn't a long range of a drop. It was just market exhaustion, because obviously these guys have abused the upside by so much that clearly it is becoming tougher and tougher to bring in money into the market from these levels. But meanwhile, because we have had a rally going from 1800 to 2100, that's a 300 points rally in the S&P without a single correction. So today it dropped a little bit. What is key here is to monitor this 2080 level, because if this 2080 level violates tonight or sometimes tomorrow, then we could easily go down and delete all these little TPOs down here and then potentially hit the 2063 level, which is a POC, and past that we have a 2050, another POC, but not saying that it will happen tomorrow or tonight. I would like to see one more push to the upside, again clear that top, hit 2018, 2020 or eventually even 2030 on a big push up, and then a reversal that same day in order to put into place a very nice sign of a reversal. Now, based on today's structure, resistance above us is at 2088.5. If we pass 2088.5, next level of resistance will be at 2097, and then obviously after that, that very recent high of 2105.25. Below 2080 there is a very minor support at 2074.5, and after that it should be very easy to come down and hit 2062.75. Based on this action that I am seeing in the market, where pretty much good news is good news, bad news is bad news, bad earnings is good news, because the analysts are in bed with the banks. They have lowered estimate to such low levels that it's almost impossible for anyone to miss. I also tweeted an article explaining exactly why the market is doing what it's doing. Is because every single company from Goldman Sachs to JP Morgan to Deutsche Bank to any other mafiosi bank, they are now have started to focus the vast majority of their trading into equities because they have lost their shirt trying to trade bonds and any other instrument that is out there. Therefore, we saw a massive inflow of capital, as you can see in here. You see, usually when we would go up, there was always a divergence between how much volume on the buy side was coming into the market, but look at how much it came in this time. And this is the shift in the bank policies to now become major and mainly stock gamblers. And again, I thought this was a issue that we solved with that Dodd-Frank. I thought it was an issue where we committed the last time after 2008, 2007 that we would not allow banks to be gambling with other people's money, but obviously that's out of the window and we are back to the same exact situation where banks are now becoming stock trader, speculator, risk taker, traders, etc., etc. So as long as this cozy thing goes on between the Fed, the banks, the analysts, the companies, I have a feeling that the only thing that will derail this abuse to the upside, which is totally detached from fundamentals, is going to be an outside event. An event that nobody is going to be able to predict. One good morning we will wake up, it will be a very bad news somewhere, and market will open with a 50, 60, 70, 80, 100 points gap down, and that's going to be the beginning of the next collapse from this absolutely ludicrous leg of an upside 300 points based on just lala and hope and whatever else that it is taking place. For crude, exactly the same thing as ES. Nothing substantial happened at all. We are at 43.40 despite the fact that we heard the OPEC meeting was a complete failure. They didn't agree on nothing. And now I saw another absolutely ridiculous article which is word for word this. In the month of June, OPEC members may discuss output freeze. May. What the hell may means? Of course they can discuss whatever they want. Does it mean that they're gonna cut? Does it mean that once they decide to cut, everybody is going to accept and apply and obey the decision? So don't be shocked nor surprised that now every time that it's gonna start to go down, this kind of a rumor and news and complete irrelevant piece of information will be released out there in order to influence price. But today's drop is nothing, a drop into the bucket. As soon as it reached $43, we started to go rotational back up here. This top being held by the overnight, I'm not super hot about it. So I would like to see again this, the same as ES, come up one more time, clear the top, possibly hit 46 or so level, and then from that point on get a very strong reversal with a very long day to the downside and a close at the bottom of the range. So now as long as it is within where we are in a trading range. 43 to 42.8 is my support zone. 43.40 to 44.50 is my resistance zone. In such case, best strategies are to be reactive, sell from the extreme of the rotation, buy from the extreme low of the rotation within that zone that I highlighted, until one of these two sides decide to break. So it's gonna be interesting. Earnings are coming more or less to an end. Next week will be the Federal Reserve meeting, and today the fact that Draghi came out and said that he will do QE till end of 2017 or whatever, the impact of all these goodies are having less and less impact in this market, and we are really getting tired up here pretty much with everything. So keep a close eye on next week Federal Reserve meeting. If there is a bit of logic and rationale left in the brain of the poor woman, she will look at a chart, she will realize what kind of a craziness we are in, and maybe she will take the rates higher in order to tame things down, because it is good to go up 300 points, but one has to remember what goes up 300 points also at some point is going to start to come down, and the more it goes up like a rocket, the more dangerous it becomes on the way down. This was Reza with Profiletraders. Thank you for listening. If you're interested to check my courses, get a trial to my trading room, go to my website. Everything is clearly listed over there, and see for yourself.